Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim coming to you from inside the crusher. Hold on. Back up. He hasn't had his coffee yet. I'm not in the crusher. I'm in the crasher. I'm going to go there and do that. Already got my cup ready. Crush it! Look at this. Eye drops, eye drops, eye drops, eye drops, eye drops. Eye drops! And more eye drops. Eye drops. Begin these today. Here's a little patch. Here's looking at you. A little patch for your eye. What's I got on there? Got a little something on there. Here's some tape. Here's some sterilized, I don't know. They tell me to use this instead of this garbage. And finally, we have the blind man's, come on, some glasses to wear. Ta-da! And I have this bag they gave me to put them all in. So these are the same. These are the same. Got a bunch of those. And these are the same. And these are just some, to make your eyes feel better. Clear eyes don't even count. So you got these two that are pre-op they got me on. I start these today. These I've been doing 4 times a day. These I do twice a day. And these I do once a day. So these kind of total 3 a day. I've been doing these forever. These are my glaucoma medicine. This has been introduced to do 4 times a day. And this one's been introduced to do 4 times a day starting today. And I don't know what he might give me after this surgery tomorrow morning. But I can tell you that it's 5:33. I'm in Jacksonville. And God is good because, first of all, I just love this camper. I get up, it's like a fort. It is so bitchin'. I come in here, I already put away, I had a couple little things out here I washed that one of my subscribers gave me that's just so handy. You put your wet dishes on this here. I got 2 of them. And he also sent me these rags here for drying and some pot holders. And I put those here and here. And I always do my dishes. I don't ever let dishes just sit there. And I got my candles. I got my banana rack that someone gave me. And that's my new mic system, which I don't need in here. And it's all in this bag here. And, I forgot this. This is an eye spray that I paid $20 for at the doctor's office. They just sold it to me right there. You close your eyes and you spray this on your eyelid, both eyes, and you let it dry and you don't wipe it off, and that's it. Now what can that do for you? Spray on your outside of your eyelid. Well, it's called this, and it does that. So, but what I was just saying is it's so neat in here. Those RVs I looked at yesterday, when I look at mine now, oh yes, I can see that some of them were much wider and bigger and longer. But there's just something really, really nice about mine that I just love. And, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. What? He didn't make his bed before coffee? Nope. I got up. I did my eye drops first because I got so many of them. And I wanted to start them. And I have to get ready this morning and pack to drive down to Boynton. And this is what I was just going to say. God is so good. To get this camper back up here and all the stuff I have underneath the camper, all those totes, the e-bike, all the stuff I had in the back of my truck. I don't want to have to mess with that after I have eye surgery and, I have to strain or pick up things because, pressure does go to your eye. I probably want to go to the gym. What is this? Take your trash out, Baker. I'll be taking it out this morning. I got the lid off right there. We don't edit around here, folks. We're doing raw. Here's my Tundra. Oh, hang on, buddy. Yeah, I love that little truck. And this morning I'm meeting someone in St. Augustine that has a 5th gen 4Runner that wants to buy and had been waiting for over a month my window shades that I put in the 4Runner, the from WeatherTech. Those, just try the Walmart brand. The, listen to this thing. It'll do that for 10 minutes. They're buying, I'm meeting them at Buc-ee's, and they're buying the window shades that go in the windows of the 4Runner, which is really cool because I don't need them. They don't fit the Tundra. But I paid good money for them, $200. I'm giving them to them for $100. And you can't see your hand in front of your face. They fit right inside every window. There's 8 windows in a 4Runner. So I'm picking up $100. That'll buy me some gas to get down there. And then I'll get back. But just thanking God so much, and for you folks in the community that have sent me so many comments saying you're praying for me and wishing me luck for my eyes. You know how comforting that is to read those comments one after the other. Just taking the time to write that to somebody is so nice of you. I really appreciate it very, very much. And I know that your prayers are being answered because prayer works. And we're going to get into reading the devotion this morning and see what the Lord has to say. I haven't even read today's devotion yet. Yesterday, I didn't go to the beach. It was a beautiful day. I didn't even go to the gym. I ended up doing the RV thing, and then I came here, and I was exhausted. And believe it or not, I took a sleep aid at 5:30 and wanted to go to sleep early. I didn't care if I got up at 2 in the morning. But I got up at 3, and I went back to bed. I had to pee. I got up. I went back to bed. Now I'm up now. But I feel very rested to take the long drive. You know, the 300 miles. It's about 4.5 hours. It'll be about 5 hours. I'll take my time. I'm definitely going to hit Buc-ee's today, make some videos for you. So look for those coming today. You got Buc-ee's videos. We might pick up a little gift or a snack for someone while we're traveling. Take out your trash. Let me make this coffee, and then we'll turn the camera around and I'll talk to you. All right. Let's begin by talking a little bit this morning while we have coffee. I got an email or something on Facebook about a RV show here in Tampa. What's today? Sunday? Next weekend. And then we have the one in West Palm on the 15th. So that would be the weekend after, I believe. So, or it's the same weekend. I don't know. But I'm going to go to one of them, and I'm going to video some RVs. I love those RVs. It was nice going in the Forest River Flagstaff models over there at Campers Inn yesterday. Forgive my eyes. It's not just that I have glaucoma, but I always make that excuse. It's just that I just woke up. And we don't edit around here. So it was nice seeing those fifth wheels by Flagstaff and what they got. Now those 2023s that I videoed that were a darker beige, they didn't have this white on the outside. I didn't want to, cut them down, or act biased, but it's not my color choice. I definitely like the 2024 color scheme they've got on the outside, and these light cabinets and this flooring. The flooring I have, let me show you. This apparently is throughout the industry. A lot of the campers are having this. And if you notice, this furniture is the exact same one. It's called, what is it right here? Let me get the Millersburg. And everybody always leaves that plastic on. You leave that on, so your shoes and stuff don't. All right, I messed up here. I gotta fix this up for you. I'm already ready for another cup. I go through the first cup like really quick. But it's really eye-opening to see the color schemes and how they finally gotten their act together. For years, I've looked at RVs, and you go in one, you've seen them all. They're all kind of like, you know, I don't even know about wanting to buy this to camp in it, much less live in it. But, you know, if I say so myself, this one is so livable. It's so homey. It's just got everything. And, you know, with the right amount of counter space over there, the cool faucet comes up high, and all the appliances, and everything's 12 volt now, the TV, the refrigerator. You got these furnaces in them. My shower is small, but, you know, I would rather have that big medicine cabinet. I got my cord charged in, see? My battery's low. I would rather have those dual door big medicine cabinet and the counter space on my sink than a tiny little sink, like a little tiny little thing. So what I have in here is very important to me. Hey, over here. So God is good, like I said, and blessed me with this one. And I'm so happy with it. I wake up in the morning, and it's just great being by yourself, and it's all yours, and it's anything out of place, you've got the one to answer to. You know, nothing else, and nobody else is going to make a mess. You're in control of closing all the doors and taking care of it. You don't have to worry about somebody else breaking something. It's just, I'm going to keep it like this. Believe me. And I'm just so happy with it. And now I've towed it a few times, just a few times now. And while it is somewhat nerve-wracking, and you got to be cognizant of where you turn in, and stores and plazas, and where you can turn around, you got to watch like low trees and stuff when you turn, because it is kind of high. Not near as high those fifth wheels. Did you see how high those are? Wow, you really got to be careful. I would have reservations about buying one now. Just knowing that when you come off the freeway, anywhere you go on surface streets and around town, you know, you're way up there high. And if a tree limb snatches off your shield off your vent or your air conditioning or something like that, I mean, who needs that, right? And while I used to be very fond and promoted a fifth wheel as being the most spacious inside, that going up the stairs, after going in a couple of them yesterday, finding the narrow passes when I start feeling, you know, close on my shoulders. Anything I find in any RV that narrows, you know, in here, I don't like that. Even if it's just a pass-through, because it's going to be constant. And Class A's, I am absolutely done with the whole idea, with the exception of the Prevost, the dual axle, full-on Greyhound bus with the huge basement storage you can put a golf cart in. Like the one I videoed when I was at the gas station when it went by. You know, those movie star ones. $1 million. So I don't have to worry about it because I'll never get one. But I sure would like to drive one. I love looking at them. But that one Allegro bus that we went in yesterday, while it looked very impressive on the outside, and it was a diesel pusher bus, very long, probably 40 feet, that was, to me, I'm sorry to say it, but that was quite a disappointment on the inside. That dark, I did not dig that. I didn't want to say it on the video, but I mean, let's say they gave it to me, and I'm driving around this diesel bus. I'd be pretty proud. So don't get me wrong, but you know, just looking at them and, you know, grading them and all that, you know, without having to buy one, giving my opinion like a lot of people like to do, it just wasn't the interior wasn't my choice. And so the Class A I'm out on because There's so much involved with that. If that thing breaks down, you are SOL, because everything you own, I mean, if you lived in it, is you're dead in the water. And you can imagine the towing. I mean, how big and where do you go? I mean, that's just so much. It's just over. You got to have a lot of disposable cash where a limousine can come pick you up. You can go to the Hilton or something and let me know when it's fixed. You know, just, you got to be one of those kind of people. But towables, those long ones with the 2 and 3 slides that look pretty much rectangular. They're just straight, long rectangles. That isn't my style on the outside. This is my style. This is why I bought this. That bubbled, that little nose in the front that kind of protrudes out, somewhat like a fifth wheel, I would think, with that car windshield that I have in the front, and rather than a bed being in the front, and they make these Flagstaffs with the bed in the front, and you can see the window when you're in bed at night, but you're in the back of the camper for the most part. Well, they got different floor plans, but I like the fact that I'm always right here in this living area, and I have that window to view out. And when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking or whatever you're doing, I don't really cook in there, you know, making my coffee, washing dishes. I'm in the front of the camper and I have a window in the front. It just seems like living in the front of a towable, and the bed in the back seems better to me, my opinion. Some of them, lots of them, they have the bed when you come in, right in the front. And the smaller ones that don't have the slides and everything, that's just how they're made. But they're just, you know, it's just different. Like someone wrote the other day in comments, and it was an old saying in the car business, there's an ass for every seat. There's a camper for everybody. But having a camper and living in one is what I'm basically trying to say is really cool. For a guy like me, it just fits the ticket. I mean, this is just a godsend to me. I've always been a roommate for, let's see, after I got divorced 100 years ago, I became a roommate, and I paid $500 a month. I had only 3. I stay a long time. I was 5 years or more, a couple years, and I was 1 year with one person because he sold the house. But I've always had like a small little area where I've been a roommate, but it's been a nice home. And I stayed to myself. I didn't use the kitchen. I didn't go in the living room. It was usually a 2-story house, and I had like a Jack and Jill setup where I had a room, a bathroom, and another room, and they joined through doors. It's called a Jack and Jill. That's what they called it in Georgia. And I made one a bonus room to sit and watch TV, and had a little dorm refrigerator and a microwave and my stereo, and just kind of read and did what I did there. And then I had the bathroom that I could go walk on through the next door into a bedroom where I had an air mattress and my closet, and that's where I slept. And it was like a little apartment. I didn't need any more. And so I've been acclimated to a very small, and those weren't small, those were bigger than this, spaces. And then in Sarasota for 6 years, I rented a little cottage that was in the backyard of a home. I think it was a single car garage at one time. The house was built in 1925, and it had been modified. And it had it was just one open room. There was no divider or anything. It was a single car garage, but it was all inside, you know, crown molding, painted, a nice floor. And the kitchen area they made, which it had no stove, for legality reasons, I had a hot plate that I used and a grill outside. And I had my own microwave. It just had a sink and plumbing, and then there was one little room that separated from the whole little garage, and that you could close the door, and it was a small bathroom. And they had put one of those, basically one of those motorhome style showers back there. and it was fine. But it had a little step up in the kitchen, but the room was open. And guess what I did? For over a year, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on hammock camping. And I got into hammocks. I bought a few hammocks. And I bought this contraption that you put outside that was a frame that you could build, and the hammock hung in it. You could still buy them. So if you didn't have trees, it was just a frame that the hammock hung in. So I brought that in, and I slept in a hammock for over a year. And there's a certain way you hang them to a certain degree, and there's a certain way you lay in them. You don't lay in them straight, you lay in them diagonally so you can have a flat lie. There's a lot about hammocks, folks. A lot. It's very interesting. And I used to watch these guys that would go into the woods over in Europe and different places and camp. And they have these bug screens that come over you, and you're in like a little cocoon, and you had a little small tarp below you. You take your shoes off and keep everything dry. And they would make a fire and cook. I used to love watching those YouTube videos. And I really wanted to do it. I bought 2 or 3. I never did. You know, I'd go to the woods and camp out in one. But these guys would wake up in the morning. They made the best videos and pack it all up. But at night, when they get there, after they set everything up in the trees, and then you always got to look around for widowmakers. What's a widowmaker? You always look around the forest for dead limbs that can fall anytime and kill you, make a widow out of you. So you look around before you hang your hammock, you find the right couple of trees, you set up everything, make your little fire. And this one guy, he was in England. He was actually a chef, and he made unbelievable dinners in the woods. He really did. He had these little homemade oven thing he made. It's like a, well, anyway, I can't think of the name of that pot. But with a lid, it creates like a heat of the oven. And he had these big mitts that were, you couldn't burn your hand. And he could literally move the wood and rocks around in the fire with his hand, you know, and arrange everything. He was amazing. Those videos, I've watched so many of them. Another video I like, I'm going on a tangent, I know. Coffee's kicking in. I like still, there's a guy named Andrew Cameretta. Check out his channel. Andrew is, he started out doing home improvement, property improvements. He has like heavy equipment, like a front end loader, an excavator, you know, the little digging thing. And he's in upstate New York. Well, he became huge, super huge YouTuber. And he never really talks. He says a few things. He's got a couple of dogs. He had one dog, Levi, that passed away. And he was in all the videos. They're Labradors, very high energy. And he built a home. I know that some of you out there are like, I know Andrew. He built a home out of those shipping containers. And he made so much money on YouTube, he ended up buying the top of a mountain. And he cleared all the trees off of it. He leveled it. He built the road. He kept buying bigger and bigger heavy equipment machines that could climb this steep road. He couldn't even get up there. And he kept buying stuff. And he buys these jalopies. And he's a fixer guy. And all of his videos, besides just making driveways and pushing dirt around, which is how he began for other people, now he makes videos just doing his own improvements on his own property. And he gets a lot of views and makes plenty of money on YouTube. And he keeps buying these jalopies that break down almost every time he uses it. And then he has to fix it. And so there's a video for fixing it. And it's just so therapeutic to sit there and watch him and how he doesn't give up. And he fixes them himself. In fact, he got so big and he bought such big machines that he literally had to have other people occasionally in his videos to assist him. He uses a drone. He has one of them sticks that he holds out the window. You can't see the stick, but the camera somehow videos. He's really good at editing and everything. Andrew Cameretta. and check out his channel. Upstate New York guy. And in the wintertime when there's snow, he goes snow skiing, those not jet skis, what are they called? Snowmobiling. And then there's a lake up there, and in the summertime they do that a little bit, but mostly it's about property improvements. He'll push down trees and push dirt around, push a driveway out for somebody. I think it's interesting. My granddaughters, my adopted granddaughters, would love to watch him. You know how small they were, right? And they would say, put on tractors. They loved it. So Andrew Camaretta, check him out. Now, back to what we were talking about. What was it? RVs, loving my RV, loving life, loving God, loving my community, loving this new chapter in my life. And I know that once this eye thing is behind me, folks, when it starts warming up and I start dragging this camper out west, don't think I'm not going to. Don't you even think that. We're going, and it's going to be cool. We're going to be hitting some state parks. I'm good at travel. I'm good at. My ex-wife told me one time, what'd she say? You're good at. I wasn't good at anything else, but I was good at. I guess travel, something like that, because I'm fun. I like to go and do. I don't sit around. I'm very youthful. I like to just get out and camp and hammock camp and build things and hook up this camper and go. And I was talking the other day about maybe I need, because someone suggested a 3/4 ton truck with an 8-foot bed. And I had a comment this morning of a guy that's got he said his friend bought a 3/4 ton, an F-250 Ford with an 8-foot bed and loves it with a 7.3 liter V8 motor. And I don't pull this thing around. And then put a shell on the back. Now, right now I have that backflip that's just level. And I've always kind of not liked that, because you can't put anything of any height in the back of your truck, that you can't close that thing down. But I got one. So, you know, it's kind of like a security trunk, but you can't put anything back there of anything tall. And if you have a shell that's cab height, well, not only can you get back there and camp and sleep, make a little bed, and that's another video I used to watch. This guy would go out, he lives in Nebraska, he would charge it, man. He would go out and charge it in 10 degrees, 30 degrees, snow on the ground. And he'd go to a place really kind of close to his home, one night, camp out, nobody else would be there, and make a fire. I talked about this the other day. And he would cook something. He had that jet boil, that one little thing that you light up and you stick a pot of water on there, a cup. I think it all comes together in one thing. He'd heat up some water and he would make his coffee, and he would bring one beer. He'd bring like some kind of a foreign beer, you know, that was different. Maybe a Total Wine or whatever, one of those variety kinds. And he would talk about it and read the label. He goes, tonight we're going to try and he'd pop the lid and drink that beer and give you his opinion. And then he'd make he got to where he was making just some 7-Eleven type food, just heating up something that you tear the packs open and make, just real guy stuff, just simple. Then he would, he had a little laptop and he'd put on a movie. He'd sit there, he had a little cot, on the side of his bed. He had a big long bed on his Chevy truck. He had a Chevy truck with the shell. And it looked roomy in there, the way he had it on his camera on fisheye. It looked roomy in there. And he had these LED lights, and he could just flip a switch. He had it all set up. The place was all lit up very nice in there. And he could he had a little rope that he could pull up his tailgate and down the shell. And he'd put on a movie. And the next scene would be the movie's over, so we didn't have to sit there and watch it. And he'd tell you about what the movie was, not long, but he'd say, well, that was a pretty good movie, and it might be something that you've seen before. And then he'd say, all right, good night. And he'd turn the light out. And the next scene, you know, he's already got the camera going, of course. And he wakes up. He gets his little jet boil out, makes his coffee. And then he gets in the front of the cab, buttons everything up. And he has the camera set where he shows his nice Chevy driving away. He's got these nice tires on it. And he just drives away. Of course, you got to come back for his camera. It's all editing. And he grew leaps and bounds. And he's a really nice guy. And the story with him was he was working for a company. He had a bad leg injury, got put out of work. And, you know, I forgot what kind of work it was or whatever. And he just found this niche, started making videos. And the Lord blessed him. And he's into motorcycling, fishing. In his garage, he has a wife. He has a nice little home, a little 3-2 it looks like, in a nice neighborhood in Nebraska. And he has all kind of cool stuff in his garage, you know, a boat and a bike, and he's got his truck. And he was fun to watch. He's just doing stuff. And this is what I get off on. This is what I want to do. And so I said, you know what? I said this 4 years ago when I had my 4Runner. If I could just go around camping out in my 4Runner, it's not just about making videos and growing the YouTube channel. It's not just about that. It would be great if it could support that kind of life. I mean, yes, I mean, of course, but doing it, you know, I don't want to do something that's a chore to try to build a YouTube channel or build revenue. I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. And then I thought if I could get paid to do it, that would be even better. And so I really feel that might happen for me, that, you know, my channel is monetized. I do receive a revenue from YouTube. So if I can go out and start traveling with it, we all know about Traveling Robert and other, there's no shortage of RV channels of people living in them and traveling, and husbands and wives and single guys and nomaders. And there's a guy I watched at one time. He's got a little bitty, like a casita, but it's called a scamp. It's even tinier. He's got his little dog, and there's another guy that's got a cat, and you know, there's all kinds of us out there. And I just want to find my little spot. I've got a nice community I think that will follow me and will be interested in what I do, and I want to do it. And the only thing that's stopping me now, I've got the camper, I got the truck, and I've got this issue with my eye. I'll go down there to Boynton to get the prescriptions done. I found a place in Jacksonville, and I love it here. I'm closer to go west. I'm already at the top of the state. It's just all moving forward. I'm close to my daughter in Georgia. I'm close to my sister in Charleston. And, you know, Panama City and Destin, these are places I'd like to take you guys to. I used to go all the time when I lived in Atlanta. Have you ever been to Panama City Beach or Destin? You ever seen the sand there? It's got to be as pretty as Hawaii. The water is amazing. The sand is pure sugar. Way prettier than Palm Beach County beaches. Sarasota has a similar sand over there. They have a very white, sugary sand, like Siesta Key and Lido Beach and stuff. And I'd also like to travel back over there and see my good friends. So traveling is what I want to do. Traveling is in my blood, and it really is easier alone than, you know, two needs, two ideas, you can do it. You know, you got to have someone like-minded that, you know, on the same page for the most part, I suppose. But that's, you know, that's like a puzzle piece. There's only one piece that fits in that puzzle. It's got to have all the little, it's got to go in there. Can't put a square peg in a round hole, right? But, you know, that's how I've been most of my life since I was married a couple of times. And I've been rolling like that ever since. I've had a great life. And prior to this life that I'm in now, you know, I had to work. I didn't get a free check. I didn't get any free money. And now I got my free check coming in, and I don't have to stay grounded to a prison side hustle, a prison part-time job, which I would have no problem doing if I wasn't doing what I'm doing here with YouTube, because that's what I did. And I loved it. I loved my prison side hustle, working for the Publix and different stores and Total Wine, passing out samples. That was just getting going. When I was doing that, the other companies, other marketing companies that wanted to hire me, that paid $30 and $35 or more an hour to do beer and wine and spirit samples at liquor stores and other places. There's quite a few of them in Florida and nationwide. If that's something, I always forget to mention that. If that's a side hustle you would like to do, that's a good one. Contact Crossmark out of Texas, or just look for, even Walmart does it. Different companies that go into Walmart. It's not even Walmart that's doing it. Costco, all of them have these little things. Now some of them, like one I was doing, only paid, I don't know, what was it, $12 or $13 an hour. It wasn't much, but I enjoyed it. I met some nice people. I wear a vest and a bow tie. I was all dressed up. Took me back to my car salesman days, and I just enjoyed it. And then I started finding out about these other companies that wanted to hire me. They were paying $30, $40, $50 an hour. It was only a 2 or 3 hour stint too. So you get 2 or 3 or 4 of those a week, you know, and they work from like 4 to 7 or 1 to 5 or whatever. So that's a good side hustle. Think about that. Doing samples or spirit and wine sample distribution, marketing. You can Google it. There's plenty of ways to find them. But if I was still doing that and supplementing my Social Security, I would just have to save some money and then go off and travel. But now, you know, I can just do my side hustle, which is YouTube, and go and do wherever I want. Just like these people that are working remote from home and are buying RVs and they're traveling around and they're sitting there on their computer working at home. So God is always got a plan for all of us, and he can definitely guide you and direct you in your life. So don't worry about, you know, if you'll have enough money, or you planned enough, or you don't have a 401, or all this kind of stuff that some people put in comments about how you're going to live on that. You can do it. And you can just be a roommate. You can rent a cottage. You can buy an RV. You can downsize from your home you own now and buy yourself a small condo or apartment, a little villa. There's all these different levels and different ways that people that have already got some money, they've already owned a home, and they want to downsize so that they can't afford to quit their job and work a lot less, a third as much or half as much. That still would be better. People say, well, you're not retired if you still have to work. Working is good. Working is fun. Working is healthy, especially if it's something you want to do. I don't say it's fun if you got a prison job where they're really, you know, micromanaging you and you got to be there and they're overworking you and underpaying you. I'm not talking about that job. I'm talking about something that you choose to do, that you think is fun. Like, you know, sitting in some air conditioning somewhere and passing out something to somebody or whatever. You get the point. So let's make another cup of coffee, and then we'll do a devotional video on a separate video because these are getting a little bit long. And then I got to pack, and we'll make videos at Buc-ee's later this morning. I'm going to sell those window shades to those people. And they were so kind to wait. And as soon as I texted him on Messenger, I sent him a message. He responded immediately. Oh, yeah. Just let us know. We're open. Meet you at the Buc-ee's. And I'm like, great. I got a couple of power stations down here that I don't need 2 of them. I was going to sell one, and now I'm glad I didn't. The guy bought something else because I was in Boynton, and he wanted it here in Jacksonville, but I wasn't available, so his son and him got something else. Very nice person. Responded to me right away and said he bought something else. And so now I was thinking about selling it because I have the Blue Eddy and I have this VTO, this thing. I have this VTO Man. This one's 1500 watts. This one's a 2500 watts. And then I have that EBL in my truck, that small one that has a wireless charger on the top and even has a 110 plug. It's got a 100-watt solar panel. It's so convenient and small to keep in the truck. I can run my refrigerator that's in the truck. So I'm not selling that one. And I'll never sell this Blue Eddy. And I think I'll keep this one because it's the only one I use. I don't even use my Blue Eddy. See, I'm plugged in. I'm charging my phone as we do the video here. And the Blue Eddy, I was looking on Amazon. Go look at it yourself. The AC200L, the one that they sent me that I promoted, you know how much that thing is? Boy, they were giving a deal on the holidays. Should have jumped on that. They're like, it's over $2,500. They also sent me the 350-watt solar panel that I can charge it with. And it doesn't have that big brick on the cord when you plug it in to recharge it. If you use your wall unit, a wall plug, it's just a cord because everything is inside. It's the newest and the greatest. And a little fan comes on and it charges from 0 to 100% in an hour. I mean, that's lightning speed. And it'll run this whole camper, including my air conditioning. Now, I wouldn't use it for that because it wouldn't last too long, but running this fridge, TV, all these lights, the water pump, everything. And it's rechargeable with that big, giant solar panel I have. So that's a keeper. I'm blessed to have it. And I also have a 5,000-watt generator that runs on propane and gas. And I have the 1500. So anybody that has these kinds of things that doesn't travel is missing out. I can pull over anywhere on the side of the road where I'm not going to annoy anybody with my whisper quiet Predator generator, and I can run propane or gas for hours and hours with air conditioning in the hot desert. So I'm self-equipped, man. I am self-equipped. I can carry my own water, take a shower, I can cook, and I can live life, and I can bring you videos, and I can crush it.